Okay, so this is gonna be part two to what if Deku lived in Wakanda. So let's get into it.
Do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
So, I'm a little mad right now because if you like, as I'm re-recording this because like if you saw my community tab, like I was 30 minutes into the video, and I didn't realize that my mic was turned off. So, like, yeah, that got me mad, even though I don't sound like it. I am, but anyways, so I have to re-record this, which sucks. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. So where I last left off, Deku just finished what was it? The recommended test, and yeah. So Deku, he's in the basement, like working on a new suit, and he's just upgrading it. And Puma would appear, and he would say like, "Mr. Midoriya, do you need any assistance?" And Deku would say, "No, not right now, Puma." And Puma would say, "All right." Then Deku would say, "Puma," and Puma would say, "Yes, what is it?" And Deku would say like, "How do you think my dad is doing?" Puma would say like, I'm sure your father's doing just fine." Deku would say like, "You really think so?" And Puma would say, "Yeah, I know so. I know so. Like, he's a hero and also a king. He's also a king, so why do we need to worry about him?" And Deku would say, "I know, but I'm just worried about him because I haven't seen him in a long time, and I just want to, like, know, or, like, I want to think that he's okay and he's not in a bad position right now." And Puma would say, like, it's nice to know that you care about, like, you worry about him, but there's no need to worry. Like I said, he's a hero. He can protect himself." And Deku would say, "All right, thanks, Puma." Then we pan over to Wakanda, where T'Challa, aka Black Panther, and he is with his sister, Shuri. I forgot to mention her in the last video, mainly because I forgot her name, and I didn't want to just say T'Challa's sister, so I just didn't include her, but she is in the story. So Shuri and T'Challa are just in there, like in the laboratory, like Shuri is showing off like her new inventions and all that. T'Challa would say like, "These are very interesting to Shuri," and Shuri would say, "Yeah, thanks." Then and they would get a call, and a hologram would appear in front of them, and it would say like, "Shuri," and Shuri would say, "Yes, what is it?" And they would say, "We've got another attack," and Shuri would say, "Really, again?" And Shuri would say, "All right, what is it this time?" The hologram would say, "Another attack just happened in like a Los Angeles bar." And she would say like, "Yeah, typical. Everything happens in a bar." And she would say like, "Are any of the spies like, do any of the spies have any information about this?" The hologram would say, "Yeah, they do. One of them recorded on a camera you guys gave to them, and here it is." Like, and it'll pull up another hologram, like saying what they recorded. Like it just puts up a hologram of what happened. So 3 men, one cloaked, and the other ones just don't have a cloak, but they're like bodyguards. All three of them sit down. It's late at night, and like all three of them are sitting down. The bartender would say, "What can I get for you guys tonight?" And the cloaked man would say, "Nothing." The 2 men would say, "A beer, please." The bartender would say, "You got it." So the bartender would get the beers for the 2 men, and the bartender would ask, like, if you came to a bar, like, and didn't order anything, that's kind of weird. Like, do you have a reason for that? And the cloaked man would say, I only came here for one thing. And the bartender would say, like, what is that? The cloaked man would say, like, do you have it? And the bartender would say, what do you mean? And the cloaked man would say, the medal. And the bartender would like get put off guard and start getting nervous, and he would say, like, what do you mean? Like, I don't, what kind of, like, what medal? I don't know what you're talking about. So then the cloaked man would stand up and he would say, like, do you have the medal or not? And the bartender would say, like, I don't know what you're talking about, like, medal? Like, I don't have any medal. Then the cloaked man would jump over the counter and pick up the bartender and start choking him. The cloaked man would say, like, do you have the medal or not? Answer me, yes or no. The bartender would say, yes, I do. It's in the back. And the cloaked man would throw the bartender across the bar, and the bartender would crash into or would break a table. And the cloaked man would say, you two, go get the medal. And the two people would get up and, like, go in the back to look for the medal. And then the cloaked man would jump over the counter, and he would walk towards the bartender. And the bartender would try to get up, but the cloaked man would just kick the bartender in the face, making him fall down again. And then the 2 men would appear, or would return, with 2 duffel bags, and the cloaked man would say, come here. Both of them would walk towards him, and the cloaked man would unzip both of the duffel bags to pull out vibranium. And the bartender would say, like, yeah, that's all I have. Just please don't hurt me anymore. And the cloaked man would say, like, why were you playing dumb with me if you knew I was coming? And the bartender would say, like, I don't know, like, just please just take it and leave. Like, just leave. Not the bartender. The cloaked man would like say, like, all right, let's leave. And the bartender would say, like, who are you guys anyway? The bartender would turn around and start walking towards the bartender. And sorry. The cloaked man would pull down his hood, and I want to say the camera didn't pick it up, so it doesn't show. And the bartender would say, wait, you're the Black Panther. And then, like, claws would stab the man in the chest, killing him. And the cloaked man would put back his hood on. He would say like, "Don't say his name in front of me. I'm nothing like him." And then the claws would then the claws would be like would like kind of disappear back into his sleeve, and then the hologram would end, and T'Challa would say like, or not T'Challa, Shuri would say like, so now it was this random bartender that had vibranium, and T'Challa would say like, wait, how come I didn't know about this? And Shuri would say like, I didn't want to worry you. Like, I know you're the king, but you already have too many things on your hand. And T'Challa would say like, if someone is like going around stealing vibranium, I need to know. That's our metal. Like, no one is allowed to have it. Shuri would say, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And T'Challa would say, how long has this been going on? Shuri would say, like, a couple of months. And T'Challa would say, like, a couple of months, and you're just telling me this now? And Shuri would say, I know, I'm sorry, but, like, you were dealing with so much stuff, and I didn't want to, like, put more things on your hand and make you more stressed. And T'Challa would say, like, thanks, but next time when this, like, something else happens like this, you need to tell me right away. And Shuri would say, yes, okay, that's fine. And T'Challa would say, so who is this cloaked man anyway? And Shuri would say, like, we don't know. That was the first time he took off his hood. And T'Challa would say, like, we didn't even see his face. And Shuri would say, like, yeah, I know. Like, then Shuri would say that for, like, he's been doing this for a few months, but he's, like, killed a lot of people in those few months. And T'Challa would say, like, really? Like, how many? And Shuri would say, like, we've estimated around 245 people. And T'Challa would say, 245 people? Like, that's insane. And Shuri would say, yeah, like, yeah, I know we need to stop him, but first we need to find out who he is. And T'Challa would say, like, can you replay that video again? Or, yeah, replay the hologram again? Shuri would say, yeah, sure. And T'Challa would say, like, go back to, like, near the end, and it starts replaying where the cloaked man, like, would stab his claws into the bartender. And T'Challa would see that, like, it was, like, there were claws, and T'Challa would kind of get, like, put off guard. And Shuri would say, like, are you okay? And T'Challa would say, yeah, I'm fine, but the cloaked man right in the hologram, he has claws. And Shuri would say, claws? Like, what do you mean? And T'Challa would say, like, he has claws made out of vibranium. And Shuri would say, well, really? And T'Challa would say, like, he starts backing away, and he would say, like, nah, like, no, there's no way, like, I thought he was dead. Then T'Challa would, like, start running off, and Shuri would say, like, wait, come back. T'Challa would run into this hidden room where he keeps all of his most, like, he keeps on, like, most of his, like, private stuff. Like, he keeps to, like, himself and not to, like, the public, I guess. And, well, not really the public. Yeah, sure. Anyways, so he would start digging through, and he would find like this file, and he would open it, and the first page, or the first page in the file would say Killmonger, and he would say like there's no way there's no way you're alive, like I killed you, I watched you die, and like there's just no way that you're alive. And then we pan to Deku, and he's getting ready for his first day of school, and he would like put on his uniform. He would like get out his hoverboard, and he would start flying to school. And Deku, he would he wouldn't fly, like he would fly like through the forest, like he would take the long way to UA. And when he would arrive at the back of UA, like where like not everyone like no one's there, so he like lands at the back of UA, and he would go around the school to get to the front. And he gets to the front, and he walks in. Then he gets to his class. Then he would see like the same thing like in canon, Bakugo and Ida arguing, and so on and so forth. Then Ida would look towards the door, and he would see Deku. He would walk towards Deku, and he would say like, "Oh, Midori, you made it to UA?" And Deku would say, "Yeah." Like, "Yeah, I did, and so did you." And Ida would say, "Yeah." And they're just congratulating each other of like passing the tests and making it to UA. Then Aizawa would show up, and he would say like, guys, you guys should shut up." And everyone does, like everyone gets quiet, and Aizawa would say like, "All right, that's good enough. Now put on these uniforms and meet me outside." And some of them would start complaining, and Aizawa would say like, "If you want to become a real hero, you don't waste your time on like arguing and doing other things that aren't important." So the whole class would like get a uniform, and would make their way towards the changing room, and everyone else changes. And Deku, I'm gonna say he is the most buff there because of it. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna say he's Mario level buff, and I'm gonna say I think I made him 5'10", I'm sorry, it's been a while since I made a part to this, so I think I made him 5'10" or 5'11", or yeah, 5'10", because there's no way I made him 6 foot. No, I didn't make him 6 foot. No, I didn't. Like, if I did, like, I'm sorry. I just I forget. But anyways, so everyone else would meet Aizawa in like the field where they're gonna be doing the test. Then Aizawa would throw a ball to Bakugo, and he would say, "What was your farthest softball throw in middle school?" Bakugo would say like 66 meters, I think. Aizawa would say, "Good. No, throw that ball, but use your quirk." And Bakugo would say, "All right." So he would step up to the plate, and he would throw the ball, launching it with an explosion. He would get the same score like as in canon, 708 meters, I think it was. And everyone else was shocked by that. And Aizawa would say, "Yeah, like in this test you're allowed to use your quirks. But the thing is, if you get last place, you're expelled from UA." And everyone else would get like scared. But Deku he wouldn't be scared, because like he knows, like he can tell that Aizawa is like lying, and so can Momo. So like both of them know that Aizawa is lying about like kicking someone out if they get last place. But both of them still try their hardest, even though like they know like that getting kicked, like no one's getting kicked out. So I'm gonna say Deku would get first place in the long jump. Deku would get first place. No, I'm gonna say yeah, he would get first place in the race, and he would get second place in the grip test. Fifth place, no, I'm gonna say third place in the side to side lunges. And for the ball throw, since he doesn't have a quirk, but he's extremely strong. And so I'm gonna say he would throw the softball 539 meters. And I would say that when, and Deku would get, I'm gonna say fourth place on that. So overall, I'm gonna say Deku would get fourth place in the test, which is pretty high for like being like quirkless. And Mineta is scared that he's gonna get kicked out. And Aizawa would say like, no one's getting kicked out. I just wanted to see you guys try your best. And everyone is relieved that no, that they're not getting kicked out, and so is Mineta. And yeah, so like the day would end, and Deku would walk out the back of UA. He would like pull out his like little cube that like he would throw it on the ground, and then his hoverboard would form. Then he would use it to fly home. He would fly through the forest, minding his own business, like looking around, looking at different animals, birds, and all, and so on. Then he would arrive home, and as he's taking off his shoes, Puma would greet him, and he would say, "Good day, Mr. Midoriya. How was your first day of school?" Deku would say, "It was fine. It was fine. Puma." So then he would walk into the kitchen. Then his mom would greet him. She would say like, "Oh, how was your first day of school, honey?" And Deku would say, "It was fine. Like nothing too special." And Inko, yeah, she would say that dinner is gonna be ready soon. And Deku would say like, "Oh, all right." So like Deku goes to sit, then Inko would walk out with a plate, like two plates, and both of them would start eating. When Deku finished eating, he would walk towards the kitchen and set his plate like to like in a dishwasher. I'm gonna say that. And Deku would go to his secret elevator into his basement. So yeah, he makes it towards his like he's in his basement, and he was like upgrading one of his suits, and it was and like it wasn't really like that, like it wasn't really, it was just upgrading. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a new I'm gonna say it's a new suit. Like yeah, it's a new suit. So Deku is walking towards like where he makes his suits, and sorry about that. Anyways, so Deku would make it like to where he makes his suits, and he would see the suit, like his newest suit, and Deku would say, "All right, let's test this thing out." So then the suit would form, and like the suit would start like forming around like the mannequin that it was on, and it would form into this little square. And then Deku would grab the square, and he would place it on his finger, and the suit would start forming. And Deku would say like, so it's a little weird, but I'll get the hang of it. And I'm gonna say the inside of his mask, it's kind of like the inside of an Iron Man mask. For like all like it just looks really similar, and he has like different like he can see in different ways like night vision, heat vision, and all that. And I'll say he can make his claws like longer and stronger, and he will be able to like scale buildings using his claws. So then he would start like moving around. He would start like training with it, like testing it out and seeing what its limits are. And I'm gonna say this Black Panther suit, it's not just black. I'm gonna say it's black, but there's like green, like really dark green and like color scheme in it too. So yeah. Sorry about that. Like I'm tired. Anyways, so Deku is like he's like I said, he's training, he's like testing his suit out, and he says like so this suit this suit is a lot lighter than my other ones, and it seems a lot strong, and it seems that it's stronger than the other ones. Maybe I can use this in school. Like maybe tomorrow I can bring it. Like I know I'm gonna do like some kind of combat training, so I can use this suit. So Deku would take off the suit, and he would put it back. He would like put the little square in his pocket. He would leave the basement, and he would go to his room and I don't say sleep. No, he wouldn't sleep. I would say he would do like some other things, and then he would go to sleep. Then the next day would arrive, and Deku would say like, "All right, let's go to school." So he dresses in his uniform. He puts on his shoes. He gets his hoverboard and his book bag, and he flies to UA. And he's at the back of UA. He puts away his hoverboard in his backpack, and he walks towards the front. Then he would make it to class. He's sitting down, and everyone else is just talking. He would start talking with Ida, and then All Might would rush into he would bust through the door. Everyone else would get excited that All Might is going to be teaching the class for today, and All Might would start like explaining what they're going to be doing, and he would tell everyone to put on their hero suits. And not Deku, everyone else is putting on their hero suits in like the lockers. They're like complimenting each other about their hero costumes. And like then Deku would pull out from his pocket his cube, like not his cube, his his little square. And I'm gonna say Kaminari would look at it, and he would ask Deku like, "What is that?" And Deku would say like, "Oh, this is my suit." And he would say, "Really? Like, it just like it's really small. Like, it just looks like a regular like square." And then Deku would say, "Just watch." And then it would start forming around his hand, his arm, and then his entire body. And everyone else would say like, "Oh, whoa! Like that's really impressive. Like did the UA make that for you?" And Deku would say, "No, I made this suit by myself." And they would say, "Whoa, that's really impressive. Like, how do you, like, it seems really high tech. Like, how do you have, like, this technology, like, in your house? Like, are you rich?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, I guess you can say that. My dad's a hero." And they would say, like, "Whoa, your dad's a hero? That's that's cool." And Deku would say, "Yeah." So then everyone else would get changed into their hero suits. Then they would walk outside and meet up with All Might. Sorry. So everyone else would meet up with All Might, and All Might would start like
making teams. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Deku and Kirishima versus Bakugo and Ida. And Bakugo and Ida would walk towards the building and look for the bomb so they can like guard it. And Deku would say, or he's like mumbling. He would say like, Ida, like I know I can take down Ida, but I don't know how strong he's gotten since the 10 months. He could be a lot faster, but like I don't know. And the other kid, Bakugo, like I don't know what his quirk is, but it seems it has to do something with explosions. So like I just need to figure out like how his quirk works. So like what causes his explosions. And Kirishima would say like, "Are you okay, dude?" And Deku would like snap back into it, like snap out of it, and he would say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Just mumbling to myself. Like I'm just thinking about our opponents and how this would turn out. And Kirishima would say, "Yeah, our like Ida and Bakugo, they seem pretty strong. Like we might have a chance, but only like there's like we might not have a chance." Deku would say like, "Well, I've beaten Ida in fights before. He's beaten me in fights before, but I've won most of them." And Christian would say, "Wow, that's pretty impressive." And Deku would say like, "I don't know who Bakugo is, so I don't know how he fights. Like his quirk has to do with explosions, so he might just like he fights like head on and charges in, but I don't know. But it seems like it because of his of how he is, his personality." Kirishima would say, "Yeah, he's like he's angry. He just seems really mean." And Deku would say, "Yeah, he does." So then All Might would say go, and both of them would walk into the building, and Deku would say like, "Hey Kirishima, what's your quirk?" And Kirishima would say, "Oh, it's called hardening." And Kirishima would harden his arm, and he would say like, "I can harden my skin so it's as strong as solid rock." And Deku would say, "Oh, that's pretty impressive." And then Bakugo would come out of nowhere, and he would shoot an explosion. Kirishima would jump in front of Deku, and he would block the explosion by hardening his arms. And Bakugo would say like, like so you're protecting him, so you want to go against me?" And Bakugo would charge at Kirishima, but then Deku would come in with a kick, and he would kick away Bakugo. And Kirishima would say, "Oh, thanks, Midoriya." Deku would say, "Yeah, no problem." Deku would say, "I'll take care of him. You just go look for the bomb." And Kirishima would say like, "Are you sure?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, I'm sure." And Kirishima would say, "All right." So Kirishima would run off. Deku and Bakugo are just like staring at each other. And then Bakugo would charge at Deku. Deku would charge at Bakugo. They would collide in the middle with explosion and a punch. So no, and so they're fighting. Bakugo's throwing explosions. Deku's like throwing punches and kicks. And Bakugo is landing like most of his explosions, and that's because Deku is letting him land his attacks because he's building up kinetic energy so he can release it in a big blast. And Bakugo just thinks that he thinks that Deku is just weak and he can't defeat him. And then like Deku has like gathered enough like kinetic energy so he can release it. But then Bakugo would say I've had enough, time to die. And he would pull his pin in his gauntlet, and a big explosion would happen. But before it hits Deku would would punch the ground, releasing all of the kinetic energy, and it would just like not deflect but counteract the explosion and making it a bigger explosion. both of them, or not, Bakugo would get pushed back, but since Deku was in like the middle of the, or he was like, and he was the center of the kinetic blast, so he didn't get like pushed away. And Bakugo would kind of like would have trouble to get back up, but like he's kind of dazed, but he would say like damn you and all that. Like, you think you're better than me? Like, you're wrong. Like, I'm the strongest one here. And Bakugo would charge at Deku, and Deku would dodge the attack, like by jumping up in the air and jumping off the roof and coming down with an axe kick and kicking Bakugo in the back of the head, and this would knock Bakugo out. And Deku would capture him with a capture tape, and All Might would say that Bakugo was eliminated from the match. So Deku would run towards the bomb, and he would meet up with Kirishima, and he would say, or Deku would say, like, Kirishima, have you found the bomb? Kirishima would say, no, like, I'm pretty sure the bomb is on the next floor, though. And Deku would say, all right, let's go. So they make it to the next floor, and I would say, like, they can hear Ida, like, they can just hear Ida, and they would say, like, oh, the bomb is in here. And Deku would say, like, all right, here's the sense. So I'll distract Ida while you get the bomb. And Kirishima would say, oh, okay, that sounds like a plan. And Deku would break the door down, and then Ida would charge at Deku with a kick. Deku would block it, but still get sent back. Kirishima would run past Ida, but Ida would run towards Kirishima and kick Kirishima to the side. And Kirishima would try to get back up, but he hardened, but it still hurt him. Deku would come in with a punch to Ida, and Ida would get sent back. Kirishima would get up and continue running. Ida would get distracted with Deku, and Deku isn't trying to take him out, but he's just trying to distract him, so Kirishima would have time to get the bomb. And Ida would keep throwing kicks. Deku would throw kicks to counteract his kicks. And I'm gonna say that he would also be letting Ida landing. He would let Ida land kicks on him so he can use the kinetic energy so he can release it. And I'm gonna say, like, Ida, since Deku knew Ida from when in middle school, I'm gonna say, like, Ida would learn his reciprocal burst a lot sooner, and this would be like his first time using it, and he would use it in a kick, and he would say reciprocal burst, and he would kick Deku in the chest, and Deku would get sent flying. He would get sent flying towards the side, like to the wall, and he would actually break through the wall. But since since this is like the top floor, like, Deku would get sent flying, like he would be falling, and Ida would say, like, oh no, I didn't mean it for this to happen. And All Might is like kind of hesitant, like he would try to like get to Deku, but then he would look back to see Deku like fine. He's on the side of the wall, and he's like, I would say, like, this kinetic, like, there's like green energy, not energy, but his suit is like turning like dark green, and All Might saying, like, why is his suit turning dark green? And that's his kinetic energy. He's like, it's at his limit and it needs to be released. So Deku gets back, like he emerges from the hole that he like made, and he sees Ida about to kick Kirishima away, and then this Deku would run towards Ida and release the kinetic energy in front of him, and he would kick, no, he would punch Ida in the chest, and since it was a kinetic energy, there was kinetic energy, it broke Ida's armor, and Ida would get sent flying. He would break the wall. Like Deku didn't release all of the kinetic energy because, because he didn't want Ida to break through the wall and fall down the building. So, and yeah, Ida would get knocked out, and Kirishima would touch the bomb, and they would win. Like the All Might would announce that the hero team wins. So I'ma end it off here. I hope you guys like this part. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
That body, baby, show me.